Welcome back, everybody and anybody that's out there. It is Patch Notes 3.0, and today we are coming to you with our fifth episode. So I think it's pretty impressive that we've managed to get five of these out there. You know, not
Yeah.
bad at all
Yeah.
if I say so myself and speak for the other guys. And like always, I'm joined by Miguel and Robert, which are my co-hosts. But for today, I will be the one leading today's episode.
hmm
And in case this is your first time here, and Paginos 3.0 is the podcast where the topics are random, the arguments are chaotic, and the points mean everything. Each week, we bring a brand new patch to our messed up minds where one of us leads the charge. The other scrambles to keep up, and by the end, only one emerges victorious. Victorious. My goodness. Unless we
That's
forget to hit
staying
the
in
score,
the
of
formula.
course. Yeah.
That's funny.
Nothing like a blunder during the intro. I feel like that makes it a
Soiled it.
yeah,
Makes it
exactly.
that much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So for today, before we get into kind of our bi-weekly recap, since we didn't have an episode last week,
Yeah, I know.
for this episode, I'm gonna be leading Miguel and Robert through a couple of alien stories that have been reported in the past. Now the thing is, some of them are not real. They're completely made up, not from other people out there, but made up by my own mind. And their job is
Mm.
to figure out if whether I made them up or if somebody else made them up or if they actually
Mm.
experienced them if you do believe in aliens.
Okay. Okay.
All right, but who wants to lead us off? What's something new you guys have been doing? Robert, Miguel, who wants to start?
I think Mikey should start.
Yeah. It was a crazy week, in the best possible ways. I finally proposed to my longtime girlfriend. I proposed on our 4-year anniversary, so that kind of was one of the reasons why we weren't able to record an episode last weekend. Just our schedules and getting everything planned. We're starting our capstone project. So yeah, it was a crazy week. Uh, Kind of like I mentioned earlier, we started our capstone project. So like from the start of the week, we were all of our cohort was balls to the wall, trying to figure everything out. We were in new places, so just kind of getting accustomed to that. All while knowing that I was going to be proposing to my girlfriend, which fell on a Wednesday, and it was great. Um, a little bit about, I guess, my relationship with her, and I guess how I went about proposing was 4 years ago, well, a couple days ago. My girlfriend actually met at an art gallery in Socorro, and we just randomly kind of like walked into the same room. She knew my best friend, and so they started talking, and she was like, "Oh, hey, I'm Ruby," and I'm like, "Hey, I'm Miguel," all awkward. And it was nice. That we met there and everything. We started talking just a little bit. Um, we and then from there, the rest is history. We've had a great relationship so far, and I've actually been planning the way I was going to do the proposal for quite a while. I was looking at my notes app, and the date was June 16th, 2022. So almost 3 years. And in my notes, it was just like I want it to be at the art gallery. I want there to be pictures of us, and I want her family to be there. And that's exactly what it was. I got permission from the gallery owner to let me put pictures of us, kind of throughout like our relationship. And there's like a brewery like adjacent to it, and I was able to use that space too to kind of cater and have drinks and food for family and friends. And it was just amazing. I took the day off work. Her sister flew in from New York, and we were setting up all day. Her nieces were there. It was just a great experience. We made a whole day out of it, and then of course, I told family and friends to get there a little bit early to kind of like hide. We came at 6:30. It was a complete surprise to her. She just thought it was for our anniversary, and she was obviously blown away the fact that the art gallery had pictures of us, and then she kind of went like throughout the gallery, and I was there waiting. In that room when we first met, and got down on one knee, and she said yes, and so it was great. It was one of the best days of my life. Friends and family were there, and then we celebrated there at the brewery. Just blessed, truly, to be around some amazing, amazing people. So it was a great day. Going to work on Thursday was tough, just because you go from like such an emotional high where you're like on top of the world. You know, we got home. I don't even know when, like 12, and then to checking emails a couple hours later.
Dang.
Just getting back to work. But it was great. And it's been good. It's been really, really good. Yeah,
That's
a great
dope,
week.
bro.
Yeah,
Big
Great to hear,
congrats to
man.
you on
Yeah,
that.
congratulations.
yeah, yeah. And Sergio and Robert were there, and it was just great. Being surrounded about by, like I said, friends and family, and it was a great experience.
Yeah, of course, wouldn't have missed it for anything else, brother.
Yeah, it's
I know my
nice.
wife. My wife was asking me like how you went about getting her to like go to the art gallery, and like after I told her, she was like, "Really?" She fell for that. Meanwhile, when I proposed to my wife, I told her that I needed to go check on my mom's backyard in the pool because I had left the water hose running, and I'm like, "Bro,
Mm,
you fell for that." So
yeah, true. No, the thing is like Ruby's like really trusting. Because just, I mean, I'm not one to lie anyway. Um, the one thing actually that was the hardest for her to get her to believe was we have picture frames throughout our house,
Mhm.
and obviously I used some of the picture frames for the art gallery. So I had to tell her, I was like, oh yeah, my cousin was looking through his storage. He found some really nice picture frames that are exactly like 12 by 12, just like the ones we have, which is like a really rare size for a photo. And so
I
she was
didn't
like,
know that.
okay, oddly specific. And I was like, yeah, they're really nice. So I took the photos to him so he can go ahead and reframe them. And she was like, okay, that's weird. Did you take a picture of them? Like she started questioning me. I'm like, oh no, I didn't. She's like, no, you wouldn't do that anyway. So I believe that. So it's pretty funny. Yeah, and yeah, when she walked into the gallery, she saw our frames and she's like, this guy lied.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, no, it was really good. That literally the frames almost gave me away.
Dang, but
Yeah.
good thing she didn't catch on.
Yeah, no, and even if she did, I honestly I was stressing out about it. I'm mostly just excited, being a little restless, and just because I want everything to go well.
Mhm.
I mean, she deserves everything to be amazing and perfect. And I had a conversation with one of my cousins, and he was just like, you know what, she's gonna say yes. It's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be exactly what you all need. You're gonna be engaged. It's gonna be a great day. Everything else is just extra. And I was like, yeah, you're
Yeah,
exactly right. So, yeah. But luckily, everything went to plan for the most part. And even if it didn't, it's still an amazing day. So it was great. Great, great, great week. Yeah.
did you end up? How did you go about like asking her parents? Was that nerve-wracking for you?
No, actually. What is it? I had the ring since September, when we started our fieldwork rotations.
Hmm.
And so I went over to her parents' house, asked for their blessing, and they cried and they were very, very excited about it. They had been like asking me when I'm gonna ask, like a year into our relationship, so I was 3 years late. Yeah, I'm in the group chat now, so it's nice.
Nice,
Yeah,
official.
they've been more than accepting. They're amazing family. Yeah, so it's good. They're happy for us,
That's
and
great,
yeah,
bro.
since day one they've been really welcoming. And the funny thing is that her family is like all women, and so I'm like the
Mm,
only guy. So like me and her dad get like along insanely well. He's
nice.
just like, yeah, please, I need a guy to talk to.
That's good.
Yeah,
He needs
so
one of
it's
the
been good.
bros.
Yeah, no, he's a bro.
That's good, bro. That's good to
Yeah.
hear.
And you, Robert, how was your week?
Good. Started just capstone project out in the NICU with the little babies, which
Hmm.
is really cool to see. Like, it's so crazy how everything plays a factor in like their development, which is why I'm there in the first place to try and inform and educate staff members that are part of the NICU how to facilitate better developmental growth for them. Because any little thing can set them off. Like, it's crazy.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, I've been enjoying that. This week I shadowed some OTs and some speech language pathologists. And I know not this upcoming week, but the next week I should be shadowing nursing staff to see what exactly it is that they do and how exactly they play a role in their development. I'll be doing both day and night shift, so it'll be
Dang,
exciting to see both. Yeah, but I'm not going to
that's
be there the
cool.
whole night. It'll just be from like 7 to 11, so it's not too
That's
bad.
still that's cool.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, that's
What
cool.
else? Um, Working on the house. I've been painting. That's why I have my hat on. I mean, you can see my fingers got paint all over. So currently doing that right now. My family's been helping a lot. So props to them. Shout out. What else is going on? Oh, I started watching this anime on Netflix called Devil May Cry. It's pretty good one. I like when I first saw it, I'm like, where is this name from? Like I've heard it. It sounds familiar. And then I looked it up. I'm like, oh, it's a video game. So and
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
the name sounded familiar too, but
exactly. So
yeah.
when I saw
Wow.
the anime, I'm like, is this a previous anime that I've like seen before? But I'm like, oh no, it's a video game. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Highly recommend it. A lot of good music in the anime. So it's really cool. Highly recommend. You what about you, Serge?
Well, just like you guys, also started my capstone. For me, I'm doing it within our university program, and wait, something happened. Can you guys talk? Hello.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because did you mute yourself, Miguel?
Yeah, I
I
muted
muted
myself.
him.
Why
Oh,
did?
there was like it's because there was like a cut in background noise, and I thought I got cut off or lost
Oh,
Oh,
connection.
good.
no, it's because my TV's pretty loud. I'm actually gonna
Oh,
go
okay,
check.
okay, all right. Then I guess I'll just start again. Yeah, I was like, what the heck? Did I lose connection? All right.
Oh, here, let me turn on the volume on it. My bad.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, that'll be an easy edit.
all right.
Nah, this is staying in.
What'd you get from Whataburger?
Got a number five, plain and dry, with some grilled onions, some lettuce.
God damn. Another one of them's.
All right.
I want them for real.
Also, to any viewers and listeners, Whataburger is superior to In-N-Out. Don't give a shit what you guys say.
100% facts.
Anyways, so for me, just like these two guys, I also started my capstone. For me, I'm doing it within the university at UTEP. So kind of seeing all my old professors, working with them, have my own little office space, and that's been going good. Basically all day I'm just there, working on, I guess, what needs to be done for that day. Outside of that, though, um, I mean, I've read a couple more books. I finished the second book of A Game of Thrones, which is A Clash of Kings. It was still really good. George R. R. Martin, I feel like out of all the books I've read so far, he by far has the best characters and the best dialogue between characters. Like it's very engaging. It's well written. Like every character feels distinct from each other.
Hmm.
My favorite character is Tyrion Lannister, which is the
The goat.
basically, yeah, the go perfect way to describe it. But yeah, he's definitely the best character, and I ended up giving the book a 4 out of 5. It's still, for me, that means it's like a good, solid book, and I think that's the perfect way to describe it because it was still really good. And after that, right now I'm reading a different book. It's called Small Gods. This one is also fantasy. It has more of a comedic element, and also it's been really good so far. It has like a lot of commentary like on religion, on kind of like how religion has like a like can is necessarily sometimes could be detrimental because it prioritizes kind of faith over what should be, I guess, human rights, but like
Hmm.
more a comedic take on it. So it's not, it doesn't feel like I'm just being, I guess, like being taught a lesson. It's like I'm enjoying the book for
Yeah.
sure.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
good.
Cool.
and yeah, outside of that, I think that's about it. We graduate in a week, or we have
Oh,
our
yeah.
graduation ceremony. So I know all three of us are excited about that for sure.
About
I know,
time.
but then we still gotta go back
Yeah, though.
to Capstone
Let's
on
just
Monday.
let's just not think about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
but one
And
last thing. Just yesterday, I watched the movie Blue Beetle,
oh
which
yeah.
I think the main superhero, he's supposed to be from El Paso. But anyways, I'm glad they didn't make it in El Paso because that movie was horrible. It was it was lazy writing, the biggest BS coincidences of all time, like disgusting amount of pandering to like Mexican people, not even like appreciation of culture, but just like pandering, like bad. Um, like just some plot lines, they're so dumb. They never should work and didn't work. And then George Lopez carried the movie hard. That's like the only saving point of that movie because outside of that, I genuinely did not like it at all. It was such a disappointment of a movie.
Wow. Yeah,
I
I've heard, I always heard like bad reviews about it, so I just never watched it because I always heard negative things about it.
I feel like I had seen Blue Beetle with you, Serge. Or am I tripping?
You guys saw
I
it
We
together?
watched The Flash together.
we watched The Flash together. Okay.
That one was pretty ass.
That one was pretty good, in my opinion.
I'm with Serge. I think it's
Pretty good.
underrated, but it's not like Marvel,
Yeah, it's
like
not
peak.
It's not to
It's
for
Marvel
sure.
standard.
yeah, but it's a solid movie. I think
I would say
Blue
though
Beetle's
that
definitely.
it is better than Justice League.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, watching that movie, Blue Beetle, definitely, I was mad by like two-thirds in. I was like, I'm just hate watching because it was so bad.
Yeah, I can't even tell you the bad guy in that movie.
Yeah,
It's
it's just, yeah, it's bad.
like it can't, is it? Oh, it's probably just like a scientific team, right? Where they're just trying to
Oh,
get
like,
access to like the beetle,
I mean,
the
the way it works in the
scarab.
movie, it's like an evil organization that's trying to like create like super soldiers that eventually will
Mm,
control not just the city, but like they will become like the main government military force. Like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? And of course, the bad guy is just like this evil woman who has like no positive redeeming qualities. Their only role in the whole movie is just to be evil for the sake of being evil.
Mm.
And then
Hmm.
like the main person that the hero fights is just also kind of like a bad guy throughout the whole movie. And then at the end we get his backstory and we're supposed to feel for him, even though he was never really developed as a character. It's just bad.
Dang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's pretty funny going from like Game of Thrones writing and character development to Blue Beetle.
Maybe that did also affect my enjoyment
Yeah,
level because Game of
yeah.
Thrones and also the other book, Small Gods, it's really smart writing. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Mhm.
Like it's everything's well put together and smart. So maybe like that transition did affect me maybe. But even if I hadn't, I'm almost sure I would not have enjoyed it anyways. It's just not well written or anything.
True.
Yeah, I heard Thunderbolts is really good. I haven't seen it yet,
I
but
watched that one as well. It is
You
good.
mean
it is
the
good.
new Avengers
The
because they
new
released
Ah,
the
Avengers.
poster
that
and
is true.
it's now became the new Avengers, no longer
Yeah.
called Thunderbolts.
I would recommend watching it. Like I think it's a movie you can be like, yeah, I'd recommend watching it.
I
Oh, you
guess
watched it
without
already?
Yeah, I
yeah,
watched it.
I guess without any spoilers. Is the title change like was that planned or if I don't know because I haven't really seen that or is it because the movie did so well? Because
It
I've heard
was
like
pre-planned.
okay, just
Yeah.
because I heard it was really good. I'm wondering I wonder if like Marvel's like capitalizing on this. It's like okay,
No.
this is the new
Yeah.
Avengers.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like it's pre-planned, but I imagine it was a marketing ploy in case either did not good or did good, so it would just do better.
Okay.
Because
Hmm.
yeah, they're the new Avengers, but once you watch the movie, you can be like, it doesn't really matter what they're called. They're not gonna really. I mean, like if you think this group of, I guess what is traditionally like C-list heroes, except for Sentry,
Yeah.
they're not gonna really gonna be the Avengers.
Well, I know canonically, I think Iron Man's also a C. Uh,
Hmm.
was it C tier hero?
Yeah,
But
and that is true in the past, but like this movie isn't gonna like elevate one of them to like Iron Man, Tony Stark, Robert Downey
yeah.
Jr. status. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
so it's
I
still
mean,
recommendable, but not like whoa.
yeah. No, I look forward to watching it. Just gotta find time for it. I guess Tuesday, I think they have movies half off in our local
Yeah.
theaters, so
Hmm.
I'll probably go
Mm.
probably go watch it then.
All
And then
right,
we also
well,
got a new pope, the
oh,
first pope from
Hey.
Oblak.
I
that is
saw
true.
I saw a meme where it's like Chicago got a new pope before they got a 4,000 yard quarterback.
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
yeah, he's from the O.
Or the
Yeah.
edits where he comes out to like the Bulls, Chicago Bulls
Dude, I
music.
love
Oh,
that
those are so
edit.
sick.
So silly.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny.
No, but real talk, that Pope's legit. I'm excited. Yeah. It'll be good. He'll be good.
All
I
right,
love that
Also,
well,
like
Surge. So
yeah,
wait, you saw that Harry Kane won his first silverware?
yes, it's about time. He's
No,
definitely he.
yeah,
I know he didn't actually even play in the game, but I feel like he always got undue hate. I mean, if you play for Tottenham, don't expect any titles. That's for sure. I think it
no.
was
So
more a fault
now,
of Tottenham than him.
yeah, but now it's even funnier because now Tottenham and Manchester United are gonna be in the final for the Europa League final.
Uh huh.
So it'll be even funnier if Tottenham won while Harry Kane left.
That would be funny because of course it'd be like an indictment, kind of like with if PSG wins something once Mbappe leaves.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Which they actually can, right? Because they're in the final versus
yeah,
Inter Milan.
mm,
yeah. So that I mean, I don't really care about either team, but it'll still be a fun game to watch for sure.
Facts. All right. I think that's it for me.
All right, well, enough talk. It is time for us to head into our main topic. And from our last episode, if my memory serves me correct, I believe Robert was our winner.
Hmm.
Yes.
He came in clutch with those survival methods.
Yep.
I'm trying to recall our last episode, but I think that was it. And yeah,
Yeah, it
so
was
Yeah,
it.
it
now,
was.
so now we'll see if Robert can get back-to-back wins or if Miguel reemerges from his slumber as a
From
Oh,
us.
this will
host.
be
Yeah,
to see who ties you, Sergio, because you have 2 wins right now. So,
Hmm. This is for the
that's
tie.
that's correct. All right. Well, as I talked about a little bit earlier at the beginning of our podcast, today I'm going to be leading my two fellow hosts through a myriad of alien encounter stories. Now, some of these are ones that have actually been reported throughout not just the U.S. but maybe different places in the world, and some are some that were just made up through my own mind. And it is the job of you two to determine which is which, basically.
All
okay.
right.
So
All
is it
right.
going to be you're going to give it to both of us, and we both have to answer? It's going to be like Miguel, here's 2 scenarios, which one's real, and then to me, or
I'll let you all. Who wants to go first? Basically, I'll say it like that. Does anybody have a preference? Who wants to go first?
I
Uh,
guess, but me by default since I won last episode.
yeah. Seems fair.
All right. Well, basically, it's just gonna be taking turns. We're
Okay.
gonna keep going back and forth. We're gonna basically we're gonna go back and forth. So it'll start with Robert, and then it'll go to Miguel. So I guess you could say it's kind of like a 50-50 at the end of the day, because first we're gonna have some discussion about it, and then since Robert goes first, he's gonna basically decide is it true or not. But then
Okay.
Miguel's also gonna decide if it's true or not. And
Hmm.
depending on if one of you gets it correct, then you get the point. But if both of you get it correct, nobody gets the point. So it's kind of like, or both of you get the point, but in other words, you don't get a point because you
I see
both
what you mean.
see what you mean.
We
So
get a
Yeah.
point for getting it right, but we don't get a point to our actual like score card
yeah,
or whatever.
so it's not just as simple as I'm just gonna guess the opposite, and you know what I mean, you
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
have to really go with your gut because even if your gut says it's the same thing, you will still get a point.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Hopefully that made sense to our viewers because I know it's a little bit confusing, but as we go through it, hopefully it'll be more clear. All right. So for our first one, what we have is the aerial school incident. This took place in Zimbabwe in 1994. So the official report says that in 1994, over 60 school children in rural Zimbabwe claimed that a silver disc landed near their schoolyard at school, of course. The students said that beings with large black eyes communicated telepathically to them, and they were warning them about environmental destruction. And now the thing that made this one interesting is that every single kid gave the exact same story.
Mm.
And it's not like they were all interviewed as a group. And again, they're each little kids, and they each give the exact same story. So, Robert, immediately, what are you thinking about this without giving your official answer?
To me, it sounds plausible just because the kids did give the exact same story. So, what are the odds of them actually having that same story if it wasn't something that actually happened, or if it's just a part of a giant hoax where they just like they all collaborated and said, "Oh, we're gonna just say this."
Okay.
So, I don't know. I feel like it might be plausible.
Maybe it's too plausible that I made it up. You have to consider that as well. You never know. What about you, Miguel? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking of the time frame. So like 1940s Zimbabwe.
No, 1994.
1994. Okay.
Yes.
Let's see, that changes things. Um, then I think reporting would be a lot more structured. So like the people who are like they're like interviewing the villagers or the students of Zimbabwe, they would I guess I would assume they would have more professionalism when it comes to reporting. So if they were going to reach out and ask these kids and they all gave the same answer, I find that more plausible as opposed to where if it took place in the 40s, I don't think they had like the same principles when it comes to journalism. So I think there was a lot more of like fabrication of stories and things like that. I think I would imagine closer times, more modern, it they would take more, I guess, pride on giving factual reports. So I think it's very very interesting the fact that they all kind of gave the same answer. Now, I would imagine it happened during the day because they were in school.
Yes, so like you said, it happened during school. They landed on their schoolyard.
Huh. Interesting. Just because I mean most alien encounters are at night, like from I guess historically. That's interesting. Okay. I guess I'll save my answer, but that's just something to think about.
And then the second part is, what do you guys think of this, of just a general alien encounter story? Do you think it's, I mean, do you guys believe in aliens? And also, if you do or don't, what do you think about just this in general?
Um, After seeing the fourth kind, that shit scares the fuck out of me because they have like
Okay.
actual footage from like real encounters that happened
Mm,
in Alaska. That shit's fucking nuts, dude. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie.
Mm-mm.
I don't think so,
No?
but I have heard of it.
Oh, you guys
I
gotta
don't think I've
watch
seen
that
it.
movie. After this episode, you guys, that's your homework to watch the fourth kind.
We'll just put it over the podcast.
All right? We'll
Exactly.
do a
Kind of
we'll
like
do
Silver Surfers, kind of in the bottom to keep our viewers engaged constantly.
Oh, Subway Surfer.
Or
Yeah.
Subway Surfer,
all
yeah.
I'm like Silver Surfer.
these Silver Surfer.
I'm like Fantastic Four.
I know, right?
All right, Robert. So now, tell me, what do you think? Is this alien encounter that was actually experienced out there, or was it something that I made up by myself?
Zimbabwe. I'm gonna go with it's fact.
All right, so this is a true uh, alien encounter. It was investigated by a Harvard psychiatrist known as
Oh
Dr.
wow,
John Mack. Like I said, this is what he reported. And again, what's so interesting about this one specifically is that somehow all the kids were telling the exact same story.
that's crazy.
Hmm.
Is there like more to what you read? Like more
Um,
than what you gave us? Is there actually like more stuff to it?
I guess if you get into the details, but this kind of, I just gave you like the main points to
Oh,
kind
okay.
of create the scenario for you guys.
Yeah, the Spark Notes.
Yeah.
Okay, good job, Robert. That was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was good. I would have said no. It's not true.
All right,
You know
Miguel.
what
So,
movie also scared me
oh,
shitless too when I
uh-huh.
was little? It was fucking Signs.
Science, science,
The
science,
one with
science, science.
Joaquin Phoenix
Mm-hmm.
and Mel Gibson. No, is it Mel Gibson? I think it's Mel Gibson.
I don't remember, but yeah, chills. Like very eerie. Yeah.
All right, Miguel. So now it is your turn. So this takes us to our next famous alien encounter. So this is known as the Lake Placid signal. This one took place in 1983 in New York State. And then, so basically for this one, the report says that it took place in Lake Placid, New York, and it consisted of a family. So they were out boating in the lake, and they reported hearing screeching digital sounds coming from up in the sky during the nighttime. And the father, he said that on his watch, apparently, or I should say allegedly, the time on his watch sped up by 3 hours, but only on his watch. And as soon as the screeching sound stopped, the clock stopped moving forward. So as the screeching was going on, his watch was moving forward. As soon as the screeching stopped, also the movement of the watch stopped. And then a day later, on the local reports, it said that local radio picked up a burst of static and coded noise, and that's all we have so far.
Huh. My first instinct and kind of just like hearing you kind of talk about it was that I think it's pretty peculiar that they were out on the lake in the middle of the night. Uh, so I think that's interesting. The I I mean I'm not no alien encounter expert or anything, but I think the time skipping is something that's interesting. I know that there was a case where there was a pilot flying over the Bermuda Triangle, and his clock actually I think sped up or stayed the same, even though like
Mhm.
the landing time was different. But then again, that's the Bermuda Triangle. That's not really aliens, so that's interesting. Uh, and so the family, how did they find out about like the radio tower finding static? Like, was that just
So it was
public
just
information?
yeah, it was a public report given like to the local news. So it was something that kind of just showed up in the local newspaper because of
Okay.
the date. That was like the main method, or I guess radio. But at least that's what I have here.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. And then Lake
Lake
Plaz,
Placid in New York.
Lake Placid.
I don't
See,
even know where that's at.
I said
Like,
I
I
was
wish I
gonna
had,
I was gonna study my North American maps, and I
and you never
forgot
did.
to.
And you
I
never
never
got around
did.
to it.
No, yeah, I never did. Lake Placid in New York. I don't know. Is there lakes in New York? I feel like
In
I
New
feel like
York? Are you serious? Of
I,
course.
is there? I feel like
Yes.
I wouldn't know. It feels
Not.
like such a small state, though. But then
It doesn't
again,
have to
lakes
be
don't
like
have to be that big.
yeah. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be like a huge Norg like the one in what's the huge one we have in the U.S. The biggest one?
I mean, Superior, I think is the biggest one.
Yeah. What? Yeah. I mean, I think you're
Okay.
thinking of like a huge lake. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yes, New
Okay.
York is gonna have lakes for sure.
Something between like a lake and a pond. That's what we're working with. Okay. Okay. Cool. I think I have my answer.
Okay. And Robert, what are you thinking about this one so far?
I don't know. I think Miguel made like a good point. That, like, it's kind of weird that the family was out in the lake at night. So I don't know. I feel like I'm leaning more towards like, it's kind of iffy on this one. Because
Hmm.
if the dad was the only one to notice like some sort of time change, why wouldn't the other two have noticed? Or,
Well, it's not that he noticed it. It was on his watch that it happened.
hmm. But all three of them had heard the screeching, right?
Well, I never said how
Allegedly.
many of them because what I have here doesn't say how many of them there are. So there's
Hmm.
something I guess additional that I have to look up, but I'm not sure how many members the family consisted of.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Ah. You
I
see, and
also
then
don't
I.
know where Lake Placid is, so I don't. If I had a better map orientation and actually knew where it was located in New York, I feel like that'd give me a better understanding.
Yeah. And Lake Placid sounds suspicious too. So I think for my answer, I'm gonna go not true, made up.
All right, so this is something that I made up, and so you're correct.
Let's go. There are no lakes in New York. Just kidding.
All right, Robert. So here's my next one. So this is called the Carbondale Light Freeze, and this one took place in 1978 in Pennsylvania. So the report on this one officially says that several residents of Carbondale they reported a shimmering light hovering over a frozen lake again during the nighttime. The next day, they said that several fish were found flash frozen beneath perfectly circular holes in the ice. So now, kind of like the local wildlife professionals said that it was a freak temperature anomaly, and that's the best explanation they could give for such occurrence. On top of this, there was a report by a different resident that said he actually saw what seemed to be kind of like a light floating in the sky. And the thing is that this guy, without hearing the other previous story from the other people, that the time frames added up. So that's kind of like the main thing here is that somehow two different people were coming up with stories that somehow came together at the same
Mhm.
time without having heard through the news the report of the other person.
Oh.
And
Again,
that's
this
it.
one might sound a little bit more plausible just because you are saying that two people kind of encountered the same experience. And what you had mentioned, like in the beginning, it also sounds familiar to me. I feel like I might have heard about this before. So I
All
think,
right.
yeah.
And
I,
any other thoughts, or Miguel, do you want to go ahead and tell me
Go
what
for
you're
me.
thinking?
I think the fact that it was a frozen lake, and there's like fishing. Maybe people were fishing and they just kind of had like those. I don't even know what they were called. I guess picks. That way they can have access to the water so they can go ice fishing. So I mean that could be a possible explanation for the perfectly circled holes. Uh, yeah. I don't know. This one seems plausible. I would say more somewhere between Zimbabwe and New York. Like
Is that
I
is that? I don't know if that would also work geographically because I
No,
think New York
no,
is
no.
more east.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Unless you're going north to south, and it does work like that as well.
I guess you're right. Yeah, we're heading towards the hemisphere, the equator.
Exactly.
Uh, yeah, it's a tricky one. And then lights are always like I think like a common thing with alien encounters too.
Hmm.
So tricky. You're gonna have a tough call your way, Robert.
All right, Robert. Well, if you're ready, you can go ahead and tell me what you think. Is this a real
Oh,
report or something I came up with?
I think it's true because I want to say like I'm telling you, the beginning of the of what you were saying sounds so familiar to me. Like I might have heard it before, so I want to say it's true.
All right. And Miguel, what are you thinking? Would you say this
So
one's true or
I was on the truth
mhm.
side of it. Yeah, I think there's some plausibility to it for sure.
All right, so this one is fake. I completely came up with it.
What the
There is no
hell,
such report of such a Carbondale, Pennsylvania lake occurrence.
dude? That sounds so familiar to me, though. Maybe it's an actual. I don't know.
I don't know either.
And it would be fake, so there's like no even point in being like, what about the
I know, right? Like
what about the circles? What about the circles? Yeah.
Uh,
probably
Damn.
just changed the year. Maybe it was the year.
Oh yeah.
no, it's definitely more than just like little things. But yeah. All right. So Miguel, you're next.
Uh-huh.
This one is called the Val Johnson incident. This took place in 1979 in Minnesota. So for this one, the report states that a deputy was on patrol, a deputy sheriff, and during his patrol, his car, he says that it was struck by a beam of light while he was in a more secluded and rural road. And he said that as a result of this light striking his car, his watch and his dashboard clock stopped for a total of 14 minutes. Following this, he said that he passed out and he woke up with minor burns, which were corroborated by the hospital. So that's kind of what he reports. And then again, he had these minor burns, and that's what the report says.
Hmm. You know what's really messing with me is the fact that I have heard about an alien encounter that's very similar to this one.
Hmm.
Very, very similar. But the one that I'm thinking of, he wasn't a deputy. He was like a lumberjack or something. And he was out, just doing his thing, and that he saw like a flash of light, and that the other lumberjack people freaked out, and they ran away, and he stayed and he shot at it. And I think he ended up getting struck by some beam, and he was like unconscious for like a week or something like that in a coma.
Okay.
So that's the one that I have heard about. Now, what are the chances of it happening twice is the thing.
Okay.
So that's tricky. That's tricky because it's messing with my brain because it's like, what if it's like a parody of the one that I'm thinking about, so it's false. But I mean, it could be maybe I'm misremembering the first one. So that's where my brain's at right now. But I think it's definitely plausible. Um, I think there's no information on if it was during the day, if it was at night.
From what I have here, there is no indication of what time in the day it took place.
Okay, okay. All right. What say you, Robert?
Can you go through the story again, Serge?
Sure. So, like I said, it's called the Val Johnson incident, 1979, Minnesota. A deputy sheriff was out on patrol when when he reports that his car was struck by a beam of light while he was on a rural road. And during this time, his watch and dashboard clock stopped for a total of 14 minutes. And then immediately following this, he passed out and woke up with minor, minor injuries that were corroborated by like the local. It doesn't say like what it was, but I'm guessing like local emergency
Mm-hmm.
like hospital.
Hmm. I don't know. I feel that we're back with that time thing again. So this
Some
might be
time and light
what,
beams.
or exactly. So I'm like, if the Lake Placid one was fake, I feel like this one might be a little I'm a little skeptical about this one.
Yeah, and I'm also imagining it's Minnesota. Brock Lesnar's from Minnesota. And so
Okay.
I think it would take quite a beam to like knock someone conscious. Uh,
Okay.
And
Now,
also I feel
it seems like you're
like
kind of mixing whether I'm making up a story or whether such a thing is possible in general.
exactly. I
Yeah.
feel
So you got to remember there's
like
a difference between either two people are lying or only one person is lying.
it's like my I feel like uh leaked video like might have been somewhere because if he was in like his car, I
This
feel
was
like it would have.
1979.
Oh, that's right.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go with true. Uh, I think it's plausible. I think it happened. This is a true story.
So it is a true story, and to this day, at that time it was investigated by police. Those are the reports, but there was never been an official explanation to what exactly happened. So again, how those injuries happened to the police officer, it was never explained. The more specifics of his clock and his watch stopping for 14 minutes, again, never explained. So I guess we just don't know.
There you go.
Interesting.
That was tricky.
Yeah. All
It
right.
was.
Now I'm wondering if I'm tripping out if the other one was even a real thing.
I'm wondering.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure. That's it. That's funny. I guess it happened twice. Don't be in the woods.
All right. So for our next one, Robert, this is known as the Lonnie Zamora sighting. This took place in 1964 in New Mexico, so kind of close to us.
Mhm.
So for this one, the report says that a police officer, again a police officer, saw a flame in the sky and he followed it. After following it for several miles, he found a small craft that had landed on the ground with two short humanoids, and what he said were wearing white overalls. Now, as he was approaching, he says that the humanoids which he spotted basically dipped immediately. The craft just lifted off and it was gone. And that's all the report says.
Okay, so New Mexico is notorious for like UFO sightings, so that's like nothing out of the ordinary for them. The white overalls is what's throwing me off, and it just like they just sort of dipped as soon as they
Mm.
saw him. That's where I'm like, I don't know.
Overalls is crazy. And, like these are some country aliens. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, and I think the Roswell incident too. I think they were also a small hovercraft.
Yeah,
So who knows?
that's where we got Velcro from,
Is it?
allegedly.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know what Robert's referring to. Yeah,
they like
Oh,
reverse engineered the spacecraft, and that's
that's
where
how you got Velcro.
Velcro
Yeah.
came about.
that's honestly crazy.
Yeah,
Wow, that's awesome. I don't know. This is a tough one.
it
Where
is.
where in New Mexico? Does it say?
Uh, Again, I just have like the little, I guess, summarization. So all it gives me is New Mexico.
Okay.
If you guys want more details, I guess I could technically go and look it up. But for now, I'll just keep it at what I have right here.
Hmm.
Mm.
I don't
Actually,
like that
let me
answer, Serge.
here. Let me look it up then and see if it gives me something.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
He's telling
Whether
ChatGPT to go more into specifics.
that's funny.
Okay, so here it says they're near the Santa Fe region.
Interesting. Hmm. I'm gonna have to say it's fact, just because New Mexico is notorious for UFO sightings.
It's fair.
So you're gonna go ahead and oh, I'm sorry.
Fuck. Yeah,
Was it, okay? So you're saying that it is real?
I am.
Okay, Miguel, what do you think about this one?
I think because of the the verbiage of which it was presented, such as they dipped
Uh-huh.
and like not having like a I think a location.
Okay.
I think it's not. I think it's a fake story.
Okay. So it is a real report that took
Oh,
place.
Oh.
Yeah, so some of these you got to remember it can be completely the dumbest story made up by a person out there, maybe a hillbilly, but it did take place, and not in my brain, but in their brain. So even if it sounds dumb, that's always a possibility for sure. So this is a
that's
real
funny.
report that took place. And again, yeah, when I saw the white overalls, I was like, I got to include this one because that is just the funniest little detail to add.
That is funny.
Yeah, dude, that's what threw me off. I'm like, I don't know about that.
Everything makes sense but the overalls.
Exactly. Everything checks out except I don't know about the white overalls.
Yeah, that's fair.
Uh,
All right.
all right, so I believe Miguel is next, correct?
Uh
Yeah.
huh.
Okay, so our next one, it is known as the Black Hollow Transmission, and this took place in 1972 in the state of Vermont. So, for this one, it says that radio operators in a remote mountain, they basically intercepted was what was a continuous low frequency signal that repeated the same phrase in Russian. So, they said that after a certain period of this same signal, the electrical surges were fried, so it fried their whole equipment. And then after this, that report says that the incident was never, I guess, fully solved or explained. And every radio operator that was involved was fired because the company basically came to the conclusion that they themselves somehow must have messed up the equipment and came up with this story to try to save their own backs.
Mm.
Okay. Interesting. So this one's more of a Russian attack. uh, I- from what I understand geographically, there are mountains in Vermont, so I think that checks out. Okay, so it's a group of guys just working there in the radio tower. They get a bunch of transmissions, repeated Russian. And then after that, there's like a impulse or like a, I guess a surge, that knocks out the power and fries the system. Okay. Uh, I mean, could happen. What's weird is that why it would be Russian
Okay.
transmissions. I think that's interesting. Weird story. I I think it's something that would happen, and honestly, like if I was at work and like I fucked up, and we're like in the middle of nowhere, everybody kind of disagrees. Like, hey, this is our plan. This is what we're gonna say. I think it checks out. Honestly, what do you say, Robert?
I don't know. Like, I want to know how they figured it was Russian. Like, or did they look it up, or how did they know it was like specifically Russian dialect? Also, them getting fired over that sounds. I don't know. Like, why would they fire them?
Well,
That
again, the
like
report
I
says that
know
the company just because there was never any
like
like
explanation.
concrete evidence as to what happened to all the equipment, and just imagine like millions of dollars in equipment is just destroyed.
Fried.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm. I don't know.
In 1974,
1972.
1972.
What was going on during the with the U.S. and the Russians back then?
Oof, I
Probably
wouldn't
like
know.
early Cold War. No, I don't know.
I have
80s.
no
I'm not
idea.
Cold
sure.
War is 80s.
Maybe
No.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not an
Ah,
expert on the Cold War.
The Cold War, the Bay of
Yeah.
Pigs
what's Vermont's role? And
in
and,
the
and
Cold
what's
War.
what's tripping me out about this one is like it doesn't even sound like an alien encounter. It just sounds like something that happened.
You're right, like a sort of like a cyber attack sort of deal.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, so now, am I answering if it actually happened, or am I actually answering that it was aliens?
Was it aliens or Russians,
So
Mikey? Answer.
I mean, you can answer this the aliens versus Russians in your for your own benefit, but
I'm
for
just
me,
answering whether it
yeah,
was made up or not. Okay, okay,
correct, yeah. Because again, this is all I have. Anything more than that, I'm sorry, man.
okay. I'm gonna go with ah. I'm gonna go with damn. I'm I'm thinking because I was like 100% thinking, okay, this happened, but then the Russian thing's throwing me off, and the point Robert made it too is like, how would they even know it's Russian? I'm gonna go with real. I'm not gonna second guess my thing. That's my gut, so I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna say it's real.
You're gonna say it's real?
I am saying it's real.
Okay, Robert, what are you thinking for this one?
I don't know, because Mikey brought up a good point. Like, are we answering like if it was aliens or like did they just intercept some like Russian transmission type thing,
Uh
right?
huh.
So like it's very plausible to happen. Like it's very real for like cell towers or radio towers to intercept different signals.
Okay.
But it's also, but to me, I'm like answering it. Was it UFOs or just some
Yeah.
like
You're basically answering. Is it something that somebody else did report for real, or did I just make it up on my own? The whole story.
exactly? I know. I'm gonna go with fake.
Hmm.
All right. So this one is a fake and made up story.
Fuck.
Yeah. So for this one, I figured if I included a little bit of Russian in there, I might throw you guys off because it was like, oh, maybe it was a kind of like a secret classified Russian attack. But yeah, this
Hmm.
is completely
Yeah.
fake. And before we keep moving forward, a little recap on the score. So each of you have each gotten three scenarios, and right now Robert has 3 points and Miguel has 2 points. And we're gonna do two more, and that'll be it. And I guess we'll see who the winner is at the end of it.
All right.
All right. So Robert, this will be your last one.
Okay.
All right. So for this one, it is called the Falcon Lake Incident. This took place in 1967 in Manitoba, Canada. So a man named Stefan, he reports that he encountered a landed glowing craft. Now, he says that upon this encounter, it blasted him with hot gas, leaving grid-like burns on his chest. Now, to this day, the case remains unexplained, and radioactive material was found at the site where he says that this happened to him.
Interesting. Hmm. Wow. There's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Okay, so he got like burns from the incident, and they also
Yes,
found radioactive like residue or particles left over
it just says material here.
all material.
So more specifically, I wouldn't know. I'd have to watch Chernobyl by HBO Max.
I don't know. So you said he was in the lake, on the lake, or just he was just
So here it just says he encountered a landed and glowing craft, but doesn't. Oh, what is called the Falcon Lake accident. So I guess it did happen near a lake. So you are correct on that.
and it happened in Canada.
Yes,
Stefan is his name.
Stefan or
Where did you say in
Stefan.
Canada?
Manitoba, Canada.
Manitoba. I wonder if that's close to Alaska. Because if it is, I feel like this might be plausible. Just because how I was saying the fourth kind, there's a lot of like encounters that happen in Alaska, and if it's anywhere near like if it borders or if it's near Alaska, I feel like it might be leaning more to the real side. What about you, Mikey?
What's tripping me out too is there was gas that left a grid-like impression on him,
Yeah.
and I think that's interesting because it's a gas. It's acting as if it's something like a solid object. Because like I think gas wouldn't permeate on the human body like a grid-like substance. So I think that's interesting.
Okay.
Um, I don't know, but then again, I don't think these are things that can be
Explained or
explained through like logic. Uh, and so it burned him, right?
Yes, that's what the report says.
And he was alone when this happened.
Yes.
Hmm. Okay. And so he just woke up. How was he able to, I guess, get back to report on this?
Again, that's all I have. I don't have the super specific details.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Hmm. I think I'm gonna go with fact that it actually did happen. Like I want to say because if they went back and found radioactive materials left over,
Uh huh.
and I guess the gas thing kind of does throw me off a little bit, but I feel like it would somehow be possible for that to happen. I'm gonna go with fact.
All right, and you, Miguel?
Uh, I'm gonna go with fake because Stefan sounds like a Nordic name. Uh,
So,
he's like from Iceland or something.
okay, so this is a real reported encounter.
Oh, good.
And again, this took place. His full name is Stefan Michalak, 1967, Manitoba, Canada. And so it says that it was investigated by Canadian and U.S. authorities, but until this day, nothing really remains somehow either explained or solved.
Interesting. I'm curious to see what the burns look like. Were you able
Yeah.
to find like any pictures?
No, but I mean, if you guys are interested, again, it's called the Falcon Lake Incident. It's
Okay,
Might have
1967.
actually.
to might have to put some pictures in the podcast. Let's see. Let's look at that.
Oh,
Oh, what the? That is interesting.
he's chilling. Yeah, it is interesting. The grid, like,
The grid likes burns.
I like it. Wow. I mean, I have no idea what else it could be. Like, even just looking at it, it looks like someone got like a really hot Connect Four board, just put it on his belly.
That's exactly what it looks like.
All right, so it's going to be our final one.
Damn.
This one is for Miguel. So this one is called the Red Construction Incident. This took place in 1980 in Cuba. So for this one, the report says that night security at a construction site in, I guess, one of like their mountain ranges, they claimed that a metallic sphere hovered 30 feet above the ground and then projected a grid of red light, basically like around their whole construction site. And it says that all of the security cameras and I guess equipment failed and short circuited, and then afterwards, after investigation, again, nothing was found except the damaged equipment, but there was no, I guess, reports of any spotted aircraft or anything in the airspace. And then I guess it is important to include that this was a construction site that was being done for the U.S. government.
Hmm.
So there could be some what's it called? Some collusion. Some what is it? Special interest groups that are wanting to flirt with U.S.'s development of a base there in Cuba. That's interesting. Uh, yeah, that's interesting. Again, I get another power surge one, which is interesting. I Okay, so it happened at nighttime in Cuba.
Yes.
A lot of workers were working overtime at a construction. Now I'm thinking 1980s. I don't know how advanced construction areas would be, especially like in a country like Cuba. So like,
Uh-huh.
what kind of technology can you take out other than like vehicles and things like that? So I think that's interesting.
Yeah, again, here it says that all of the security cameras and additional electrical equipment.
Hmm. Would they have security cameras in the 80s? I would imagine so.
Yeah, because then, like I also
Uh,
said, it was a construction site for
the U.S.
the U.S. Yeah. Now it doesn't say here specifically for what, but I imagine it was probably something government related.
Yeah, I would imagine that too. Okay. Uh, and so the Cubans were the ones that reported on this, right?
Yes, because it was Cuban workers.
Okay. Okay. What do you think, Robert?
I don't know. Who knows what those Cubans were smoking back then? I don't know, but it does give me the same feel as like the power surge thing because they said they didn't report like anything in the sky or anything like that.
Hmm.
So everything sort of just got like fried again.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's interesting. And like, this is like the first one that we have that's like not like a northern state or location. I mean, New Mexico kind of, but eh,
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
True.
True.
Zimbabwe is just north of Texas, Mikey, if you didn't know.
It's
You're
in the
right.
little like the Oklahoma, the little slit they have where nothing is there.
That's where Zimbabwe's at.
Yeah, just nobody found out till now.
Until the kids spoke out. Damn. Okay. Here's the thing.
Okay.
I want to say it's false for it's because I'm getting too much into the game now. I'm thinking I'm like, okay, he gave me two power surge ones. One of them
Oh,
was fake,
okay.
which means the other one might be true. But
Hmm.
maybe
I
Surge is like,
see.
hey, you got one wrong. This one was also wrong. uh,
Yeah, the thing is, are you thinking too much into it, or are you right on your
yeah,
gut?
I'm
Yeah,
playing the game. I'm
yeah.
down. So I gotta put some points on the board. Uh, just based on the story, it, I, I don't think there would be a lot to go wrong in terms of like a construction, like surveillance camera thing. Uh, and it's a construction area, so I don't think there'd be a lot of workers there. There'd probably just be like a security guard.
Yeah, so it
So
was the night security.
night security. Oh, so it
Hmm.
wasn't the workers. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Surge also does have an answer for everything that I've said, which makes me want
That's
to
true.
believe that it is
Well,
true.
uh-huh. Okay. Is that your
Um,
official guess?
that is
So I
my
can.
official guess.
All right, Robert, what are you guessing for this one?
I mean, at this point, it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, it doesn't really. Yeah, you are up 4-2, but
Yeah.
but you can just add more salt
uh,
to the injury.
let me see. Okay. So it was night shift,
Yes.
Cuba. They were building U.S. government or just something for the U.S., right?
Yeah, that's all I have here. All that it says, I should say.
So what exactly like malfunctioned? You said it was
So all the security cameras on the site,
uh-huh.
and then additional electrical equipment, and again, this took place in 1980 in Cuba.
1980s
And
in
there's a red
Cuba.
light.
Hmm. I want to say it's fake just because I feel like there'd be more to the story and more people would have reported it. Like maybe when like the day people want to go in and they actually saw it, they would have reported something too, like to back up the story. I'm gonna go with fake.
All right, so this is a fake story.
Fuck.
I for this one, Miguel was right. I kind of decided to double dip.
Should have gone with your gut, Mikey.
Yeah,
Oh.
I even added the Cuba element in the 1980s to kind of give like the Cold War element. You'd be like, well, if one's fake, one has to be real. But they were both fake.
You got me
Yeah.
twice with the Russians. And again,
So we,
none of them to do with aliens. Oh my god. That's why I was thinking. I'm like, maybe one of them is true. Ah.
all right. Well, yeah, that's Robert is a winner, and I believe the final score is 5 points to Robert and 2 points to Miguel.
That's funny.
GG's, Mikey.
Yeah.
It was a
All
good
right.
game.
So
Now,
now my final closing question, I guess, is a two-parter. Do you believe in aliens? And if you do or don't, where are all the aliens?
I feel like for me, it's with the aliens. It's kind of it's if it's a toss in the air. I feel like if I were to see one, then definitely yes. I feel more with like paranormal stuff. I do believe in that, but with aliens, I'm kind of more iffy just because like that second part to your question, like where are they?
Hmm.
But I've also seen some theories that if there are aliens, they're hiding in our water because like they're so more far advanced than us. They've most likely figured out a way to live underwater, whereas like we're just stupid and haven't figured that element out yet.
Okay.
True.
What about you, Miguel?
I believe in aliens. I think
Do you think they've, in that case, do you think they've visited us, or where are they?
I think that's a good question. I think they have. And I think that they've like kind of Robert was kind of mentioning like they're sophisticated enough to where they'd be able to kind of blend in
Hmm.
without us being able to see it. And I think it's might also be one of those things too where like it could be like our senses aren't able to recognize them.
Mm.
Ah,
So I
that's
think,
that's a very interesting way to explain it because that's something that people don't typically consider. Because
yeah,
then if because you're reaching the conclusion that every life is carbon based, and that, like for example, like you said, we'll be able to perceive them. Because
hmm,
what if it's as simple as they exist on different frequency light waves
Frequency.
yeah,
that we just can't pick up?
yeah, 100%. And I think the universe is vast enough to where it's not impossible or hard to believe that they will just be on that, different plane where
Hmm.
we're just unable to pick up on it. Um, I think that there's been interactions, just because even just looking at that Falcon Lake guy, like how else would you explain that?
Hmm.
And then like the Phoenix Lights incident, Roswell, even though like they had like I think it's like the B-2 bombers, what they were developing then. I I think I think it kind of lines up with like increases in like human like understanding and knowledge. Like whenever there are these encounters and like military gets involved, I think there's advances in technology. Not to say that humans aren't able to come up with it like on our own, but I think there has been interactions and they are amongst us somehow. I wouldn't say they're malicious or anything, but I think they are exist. And even if they haven't visited the planet, then I'm very, very confident that there's life on other planets.
All right. So I guess for me personally, I think it's a myriad of things. Now I do think there's aliens out there, but I think it's a culmination as to why we haven't encountered them or found them. One
Mhm.
of them is known as the Great Filter. So I think there is a certain evolutionary or kind of evolutionary wall that each civilization must meet, either if it's early on, where it's single-celled organisms, or later on, like nuclear war. So I think we're one of the few that have managed to get past that Great Filter. And then on top of that, we forget how old the universe and how big it is. So even if there's something out there, it has to be close enough to us and has to exist in the same time frame as us for us to be able to find it.
Mm,
And on top of that,
Mm.
it has to be detectable in a frequency that we have access to or one that we've discovered. Because it could be that they're communicating and sending signals on us on a way that's more advanced that we don't have access to. Like for example, we use telephones, but we don't go looking for cups with a attached wire running from a house to a house for communication signals.
mhm.
Mhm.
So I think that's what it is. I think there's aliens out there, but just so many things that have made it nearly impossible for us to find them and maybe ever find them before we ourselves go extinct.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Hmm.
those are good points, honestly, and I think it's going to be one of the great mysteries of our lifetime. I think in our lifetime, honestly, I think we're going to have more of a solidified answer to whether there are aliens and if there's been any contact. I think it's going to happen within our lifetime.
Yeah, but definitely maybe towards the end of our lifetime. But I do agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
like 50 years from now, I think that would be like the next great shift in technology for sure. And we'll
Yeah.
be nearing it. All right, well, great episode. Robert's our winner, and I believe he's also our host
Oh
going in
yeah.
that going into next week or next episode. So
Hmm.
we look forward to what he has in store for us, and if I'm able to expand my lead and get on top again, or if Miguel's able to catch up to us.
I know he's
Yeah.
gonna
Got some work to
see if he
do.
can tie us.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening, and have a good week.
Bye bye.